Well, hello. I'm Jason Sipe, and this is the Indiana Libertarian Update for the week of December 12th, 2016. I am happy to announce that I plan to continue to produce the Indiana Libertarian Update for the foreseeable future. I only ask that you keep me posted on the libertarian events and news from throughout Indiana. I have some more thoughts on why this and other non-traditional media is so important towards the end of today's report, so keep watching for more on that subject. This week we are joined by Donna Dunn, who made a powerful run for the Indiana's first congressional district up in the region. First, we got a quick check on libertarian news and events from around the state of Indiana. For those of you down in the southern part of the state, be sure to join Greg Hirsch and others for the Southern Indiana / Louisville Libertarian Meetup. That'll be happening this Wednesday at 7 p.m. That's 2 days from now at Kingfish Restaurant on 601 West Riverside Drive over on Jeffersonville. So that's on the Indiana side of the river down there. You'll see a lot of great libertarians typically turning out for this meeting. With the weather being what it is, with the month of December being what it is, it's a little hard to tell, but I can guarantee you're going to have some fun with whoever shows up. Looks like we got at least 6 folks going and several more interested. That's the Southern Indiana Louisville Libertarian Meetup. That's happening this Wednesday at 7 p.m. Okay, coming up to my neck of the woods here in central Indiana, the Libertarian Party of Marion County is going to be hosting a holiday get-together this Thursday. That's, the 15th at Scotty's Brew House in downtown Indianapolis. Looks like we're going to have a pretty good turnout for that. They have at least 17 folks that are planning to go right now, and 46 have indicated that they're interested. That'll be kicking off at 6 p.m., and if you haven't been to Scotty's Brew House, it's right in downtown Indianapolis, so be sure to check that out and join us for this year's holiday celebration. I have a feeling it's going to be a fun one. Okay, the Higher Fellowship, which is not a specifically libertarian organization by any means, but they are planning a State House rally to support a new cannabis bill coming before the state legislature. Be sure to join them if possible. That's going to be happening on Tuesday, January 3rd. They're going to be kicking that off at 10 a.m., and they'll be there for the majority of the day at the Indiana State House. Of course, if you're talking cannabis, we have to talk about our good friend Bill Levin and the First Church of Cannabis. They have their services every Wednesday right here in Indianapolis. They continue in their struggle against state oppression and being kept from utilizing their sacrament in their religious celebrations. That's going to be happening at 7 p.m. on most any Wednesday evening right here in Indianapolis. Don't forget to join them on Fridays as well when they have a weekly comedy grinder, which is a lot of fun. And if comedy's your thing, it's definitely worth checking out. Well, Indiana managed to make national news this week, and it didn't have anything to do with Vice President-elect Mike Pence. It seems that the vile recreation of yesteryear known as pinball was banned in Kokomo back in 1955 and has remained a prohibited activity since. The Kokomo Common Council is expected to repeal the ban this evening. For more on that, you can check out this article I found in the Journal-Gazette, or you can go to the Wall Street Journal and read what the rest of the nation is reading about Indiana. And it's still illegal to play pinball here. Reminds me of like a movie or something. Anyway, okay, as promised, let's go ahead and catch up with a great libertarian from the region up in the northern part of the state. I had a lot of fun chatting with Donna Dunn earlier this week. We had a nice recorded interview, and I think you're going to enjoy her words of wisdom. So let me go ahead and get that playing, and I'll pause my camera here. Hello, everybody. Promised we have a great interview for you this week at the Indiana Libertarian Update. Joining us today is Donna Dunn from the northern part of the states, and we're very excited to have Donna joining us. Donna has been a candidate and a very active member in the last year, and we're looking forward to chatting with her a little bit about what the last year has been like, as well as what the upcoming year has in store for us. So, Donna, tell us a little bit about yourself and your experiences with the LP so far.
Like you said, my name is Donna Dunn. I've been a member going on about 5 or 6 years now, so I consider myself still fairly new. I ran for Congress, like you said, in this past election. I was able to get 18% of the vote, which is the highest of any libertarian on the federal level. Yes, there was only me and the incumbent, but that allowed me to get our message out, to get the libertarian message out. I got a lot of people to vote libertarian for the very first time, a lot of people to look at our platform and what we stand for the very first time. And in my opinion, I consider that a win. We're getting more and more people interested, and
Absolutely.
That's what it's all about.
One of the things that really impressed me about your campaign over the last year was the ability to access media in your part of the state, like the Northwest Indiana Times and some other locations. What was it like gaining access to the media when you were facing such a entrenched incumbent?
It's hard up here in this part of the state because we're part of, there's such a Democratic entrenchment here that all the it's almost rubber stamped when it comes to the Democrats up here. And we're also part of the Chicago media. We do not get local Indiana news on our TVs. All our media, all our TV comes through Chicago. So to get media coverage from a local station would be a Chicago station, which is very expensive, being in the Chicago market. So trying to get into the print media, we were able to get into the Times, into the Tribune. And so I applaud them for reaching out to us and including us in the process at all, which took a lot of work. I credit my campaign manager, Chuck Pullen, for getting a lot of that done and letting them know who we are and that we're here and that they need to include us in the process. So that was a major step getting that done this time.
Yeah, I'll tell you, one of the most impressive articles I saw during the cycle came out of the Chicago Tribune, and they offered some great coverage on the impact of libertarians in the northwestern part of the state of Indiana, and that was a stark contrast to the complete lack of coverage that we saw on local libertarians here in central Indiana. So congratulations on getting that strong coverage. Now, you mentioned that you've been with us for about 5 years now and still consider yourself relatively new. One of the things that really impressed me in the last couple of years is that we've seen a lot of women coming forward in the party to work as candidates and just to participate. What are your thoughts of involvement with the Libertarian Party as a woman?
Coming from the Marine Corps, I'm used to being highly outnumbered as a woman, which to me is a challenge and something I accept readily, and I'm used to that. But so getting more women involved to me is key because so many. I think it goes back to the libertarian philosophy of inclusiveness, because we include everybody. We don't discriminate against anybody. We want any and all people are welcome to our party. And I think the more that message gets out, and the more people see us, whether we're women or men, whether you're gay, you're straight, you're bi, you're black, you're white, it doesn't matter. We want everybody. And it's all about inclusiveness and including everybody. And that message is getting out there, and it's getting out there to everyone. And we're seeing more women. I'm seeing more of my friends as our message gets out and people realize that the Libertarian Party is not like the traditional quote unquote Republican Party who only wants straight white males. They're finding a home here where they're small government and they want liberty, and that message, along with being inclusive, is what is appealing to a lot of women, and especially a lot of the women that I talk to. I have some of my friends that are starting to come around, and I have a few that are even after the holidays or have already approached me and said, I want to start coming to meetings. I want to get more involved. I like what you people are doing, and how do I become a part of it? So I'm excited about that.
And that's the greatest news of all, is when we see new involvement. And there's a part of me that even hates to ask that question in terms of these groups, because I'm a libertarian. I try to think of the individual, and but at the same time, we have to speak the language that people have been indoctrinated with, and that does have to do with a lot of group dynamics. But I know here in Indianapolis and in central Indiana, we've seen a strong influx of women, people of different, of various gender identities, people of various backgrounds, religious beliefs, race. We've seen a lot of people of color increasingly involved with us here in Marion County. So I think that these changes are going to dispel that cliche of the Libertarian Party as a group of middle-aged white men. So I think this is a welcome change. Thinking about the future, thinking about the party, but also you as an individual, what are your plans, and what do you see happening with the Libertarian Party as we gear up for the next election cycle for us in 2018?
Well, I think the most important thing is we have to get more members, which is what we're doing up here in the northern part of the state. We have, up here in Northwest Indiana, we have Beth Dunsing, who's done an outstanding job of starting this party up here in Lake County, getting it grown. She's the one who brought me in, and a lot of other people. Now we have Mike Sandridge on board. He's our party chair. he's been doing a great job of bringing in a lot of young people, which is what we need. We need their energy and we need their new ideas. And they're very media savvy. They're very internet savvy. They're very social media savvy, which is something I am not. But so they're bringing all of those parts on board, and I think that's going to help us grow the party as well. And I think going forward, we're up here in the northern part of the state anyway. We have a couple issues that the Libertarian Party is going to be very involved in, which is going to get our message out of small government. We've already started. We have a train issue up here where they want to extend our South Shore passenger service 8 miles, and it's going to cost about only $85 million a mile.
Only 85.
Yeah. So it's becoming a $1 billion boondoggle, and that's what we've nicknamed it. And our party is very up here in Lake County. We're getting very involved in this. We're going to start having town hall meetings after the holidays, and to let people know what's going on, because so many people don't even know this is happening. And it involves a lot of eminent domain issues. And it's not only going to involve the people that are going to lose their homes, but it involves the whole county, because everybody in the county has to pay for it. And everybody in our neighboring county, in Porter County, also has to pay for it out of their taxes that go to the Regional Development Authority. So there's a lot of moving parts, but the more people we get involved and the more people that find out about this, the more people that get upset that they're millions and billions of dollars it's going to cost, is how we grow the party going forward. And letting people know that we're out there and we're fighting for this issue, I think is gonna do a lot for the party.
That's very interesting. One of the themes that I'm hearing as I talk to people in leadership roles at the county or state level here in Indiana is the need for targeting. And that doesn't necessarily mean targeting a specific race. It could be targeting a specific issue and really owning that issue, because it provides ways of accessing the media and appealing to people on a very direct level. So it sounds like you folks have a great idea of what's happening in the northern part of the state, and it sounds like the folks who are planning on spending a lot of taxpayer dollars on an extension of a rail line along the South Shore there are going to have a fight on their hands, and that's great news for libertarians in that part of the state. So what about yourself, Donna? Do you see yourself continuing to perhaps work as a candidate, supporting other candidates, leadership roles, or have you had your fill for a while and are just going to sit back and let some of these new young people give us their energy in the party? What's your plan?
My plan going forward is after the first of the year, I plan on looking at starting a 501c to construct small homes for veterans. I want to see a community where we can provide homeless veterans not only a home, but a place to get maybe job counseling, mental issues. There's a lot of PTSD, as we all are becoming aware. So I want to, that for me personally is something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. So now I'm going to have time to do that. And I'm also still going to be involved in the party. I've had a lot of people since the election reach out to me and say, please don't quit.
You can't.
Yeah, exactly. And surprisingly to me anyway, some of those are Republicans, some of those are Democrats, and they're tired of the same old. So will I run for Congress again? I'm not really sure right now. I may run for a smaller race, something a little more local, maybe a city council, maybe mayor. I don't really know. It just depends on what's going on in a couple of years. I mean, everything could change, but I am going to still be very much active. We've come so far that I just can't let that go, and I'm going to keep charging on, and I'll run for something again. But right now, I'm not quite sure what it's going to be yet.
Well, and when that time comes, we know that you're going to make an impact on the race. You know, one of the things I also have to commend you for is your sense of responsibility towards your fellow veterans. And one of the things that I really would like to see libertarians do more of, if we don't want the government to be in control of a program, if we don't want the government to be taking care of our fellow community members, we need to do it, and we need to be willing to take action in the form of volunteer hours, in the form of community organization, and things like this. Because if we don't do it, that's an opportunity for the government to do it. So kudos for you, among any other things. Okay, that about wraps up our time here. Do you have anything else you'd like to share with all of our viewers throughout Indiana and across the country here at Indiana Libertarian Update?
Thing is I know that a lot of people in the party have been working towards removing the ability to do straight party voting. Push that one button for D, push that one button for R, and I'd like to see our party on the state level get more involved in that because it will behoove us. We will make better strides and get more libertarians elected if we can do away with that legislation. So I'm willing to work on it. I don't know what all it takes, but I think that's something that the state party really need to be aggressive and going forward to work on that legislation.
I think that's a great point, and I would encourage anybody who's considering running for state chair or any of our state offices at our state convention to that into mind, because that has been a serious obstacle to winning more libertarian votes in the state of Indiana. All right, Donna, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your efforts in this past election cycle, and I will thank you in advance for your ongoing efforts to help the libertarian movement in the state of Indiana. Thank you.
Thank you, Jason.
Okay, there we have it, folks. Donna Dunn. Some very exciting things going on in the northern part of the state of Indiana. Sounds like she had a great run, but she didn't stop there, and she's going to continue to work for us. Sounds like that rail line issue is going to be a hot point, a hot button issue for politics in the northern part of the state. So a lot going on up there. Thanks to Donna Dunn for joining us, and we'll look forward to having some other folks on in the very near future. Actually, I got a note on that here in just a moment. Let me go ahead and share my screen again. And I'll tell you a little bit about our Liberty Link of the Week. This week we're going to check out Mises.org. Mises.org. It's the Mises Institute. Of course, a lot of great information on here. What I like to, perhaps my favorite thing on the whole site is actually if you go to their library, and I'll just go ahead and walk you through this. If you go to the library, let's kick off at their home pages, Mises.org. But if you go to their library, and you do a little search on their library, we're going to look for the Road to Serfdom. The Road to Serfdom. When that comes up here, now many of you libertarians have read The Road to Serfdom. Many of you are familiar with Austrian economics and can fill me in on the finer points between Chicago School, Austria, and so on and so forth. But I have a tool here that you're really going to like, and many of you are already quite aware of this one, but it's The Road to Serfdom in Cartoons. It's a great little PDF. It's something you could actually print up and share if you wanted to. I like to post it online from time to time, but I was actually checking it out earlier, and it really takes you through the steps that take us from the road to a capitalist, free people to an oppressed people living in serfdom. And from what I could tell, I think we're somewhere between 9 and maybe 8 and 11, somewhere in there between 8 and 11. So again, it's Mises.org. A lot of great resources there. Be sure to check them out if you haven't done so already. Okay, join us next week. We are hoping to get Jesse Rydell in to discuss his ideas about the future of the state party. It's been rumored that he's considering a run for state chair. On a side note, I have chatted briefly with Josh Featherstone, who has indicated that the rumor of his run for state chair is in fact just that, a rumor. So he has no plans of running on this point. At this point in time. A quick parting thought before I wrap it up today. There's been a lot of talk in the news over the last week over what's real and fake when it comes to news. I think this is an important discussion, but by no means should that discussion be directed or dominated by the establishment media. We live in a world that's been manipulated by the false news they reported for decades. We were told the war on drugs was winnable, the weapons of mass destruction were in Iraq, and Hillary had a commanding lead and would be the first female president of the United States. Were these lies or just bad reporting? I'm not sure, but I am sure this one-man weekly video update will be produced with more earnest integrity than you will find on any conventional offering from the shores of Lake Michigan to the junction of the Ohio and Wabash. I do hope this report and modest information that I offer is trusted by our viewers, and if there are any questions about the sourcing and validity of our work, I will take those questions on directly with as much transparency as possible. It's not much going on here at Indiana Libertarian Update. It's basically a newsletter for the Libertarians, but I'm going to do everything I can to make it as legitimate, as trustworthy as possible. There's something different happening in media, and this is it. It has nothing to do with, the Indianapolis Star or the old media. It's time for them to get out of the way. If you have events, thoughts, or story ideas you would like to share with Indiana Libertarian Update, be sure to send them my way. That's jsipe@sipesociety.com. jsipe@sipesociety.com. The Libertarian Update is a production of sipesociety.com, your one-man education and content consultant. I'm trying to juggle too many things here at once. See, one man running the microphones, running the videos, doing the whole thing. But I'm capable and I can do it. Sipesociety.com if you have any needs in the worlds of online content or online education. Be in touch, and I'll be happy to help you out. Till next time, I'm Jason Sipe, and I'll see you on the computer.